Okay, so let's begin another session of Module 2 of IBC CEP. Very warm welcome to everyone. I'm sure in a couple of more minutes we'll have more participants join us. But before as that happens, let's move on to and check who we have on our leaderboard this time. The quiz that happened yesterday. So let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So as you all know, we had the session 8 yesterday of module 2. And the people who, so first of all, congrats to all of you because we are seeing a lot of names this time. The quiz went well, I guess, from the students' point of view. There were some questions that were fairly easy, but then there were also some challenging questions as well. So overall, the performance has been quite decent.
Deepak, last couple of rows are not visible, so maybe now it is okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think that was some notification. Okay, sir. Thank you for pointing out. Yeah. So on the top, the students who have scored 17 out of 20. So just in case you might have a doubt why, if all the people have scored 17 out of 20, but we still have a ranking manner in which the names are presented. So that's basically the people who did it much quicker, right? So the time taken by Tirala Shivakumar was much lesser compared to, let's say, Sudarshan Reddy, Chinupalli. So there's just a couple of minutes. It's all data centric. We don't really, indulge in calculating all of it. It's just data centric and it gives us the information in that manner. So yeah. So first of all, congratulations to Tirala Shivakumar, 17 out of 20. The same goes to Sudarshan Reddy Chinupalli, 17 out of 20. Anushka Mehra, 17 out of 20. Chetas Nitin Chaudhary, 17 out of 20. So kudos to you guys. You are the top scorers for getting 17 out of 20 in our previous quiz. Then we have Dineshwar, 16 out of 20. Very well done. Rishikesh, 16 out of 20. Sri Varsha Yeshala, Sardi Dharani, K. Vimal Kumar, Bhagya Nandita. Congratulations to you guys. Some of you have scored 16. Some of you have scored 15 out of 20. On the 15th number, we have more names. Bhagya Nandita, Bharat Kalyan Gedila, Ritika Singh, Thata Naga Chandu, Amina Begum, and Pavani Kalangi. Once again, a huge congrats to all of you. You guys have done pretty well in the previous quiz. A lot of the names here have been consistent. So kudos to you guys as well. Keep up the effort. I know it's not always easy to complete the quizzes in the time span that we have, and but I can see the effort that you guys have put, because getting these scores is not easy. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge all the people who have scored 14 or 13 or even lesser, because what is important, and you need to give yourself, pat yourselves on the back, is that you are attempting the quiz, right? So by the mistakes you will learn. Obviously, you also know that whenever you have a doubt with respect to the quizzes, please feel free to reach out to us on Discord. Our experts will help you. A lot of you already ask us questions, and we are readily helping you in the same. But all the students who are joining us for the first time, just know that if there's something that you do not understand here, we will be sharing the links of the Notion page where we have a detailed overview of the entire CEP that we are holding here. You will also have all the links of the previous sessions, so you can go and review and revise. And at any moment you feel there's a doubt or you're not able to figure out something, just drop us a query in our Discord server. The Discord link will be there on Notion page as well. But nevertheless, we will be sharing the link as well in next couple of minutes over here. So that's all from the leaderboard side, guys. We will move on to the next agenda on the plate. Once again, congratulations to all of you who made the leaderboard. Congratulations to everybody else who couldn't make the leaderboard but still did well in the quiz. And also kudos to you for attempting the quiz. Now, so let me just give an overview of today's session. So first of all, the session will be revolving around the aspects of Inc. smart contract. First, we will try to cover some extremely important elements that you need to do and be readily set with before we move on to the Inc. smart contract. So if we are able to cover all of it in time, we will continue with this with the subject on ink. But if not, obviously then in the next session, which will be on Monday, we will continue the session and we will discuss in detail about ink smart contract. Yeah. So the first thing on agenda today will be, obviously, as you guys know, all the students who have been joining us for last couple of sessions, we have our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Praveen Thakur, who always comes in the beginning and gives us an insightful overview of the industry and some important topics that you guys need to understand while learning these sessions. Okay. So today, one of those topics will be about storage. I'm sure Praveen sir will be touching upon some other aspects as well, but storage is an important tool in software development. He will be covering in depth the importance in Web 2 and then obviously in Web 3, which will be decentralized storage. So Praveen sir, over to you. First of all, thank you for taking out the time and coming here and joining us for this session.
Excellent. So thank you, Deepak, and a very warm welcome to all of you. A very good evening. I know it is Friday, I guess. So you definitely deserve a good break over the weekend. So I wish you a good weekend in advance. So guys, the journey that you really have been going through over last, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, in my opinion, this is going to be one of the most important journeys that you could have ever taken. This world is pretty large. This world is pretty important. In fact, this world is the future. And what you are learning today is basically not for today, but for your tomorrow. So now, is this journey going to be very easy? I don't think so. And I have told this in the past as well. If something is too easy, then it doesn't have value. So I'm pretty, encouraged to see so many people joining in on Friday. And I'm particularly very encouraged seeing you guys taking up the quiz. And these quizzes are basically testimonials of what you really have been going through. But at the same time, these quizzes that you kind of participate, the sessions you, attend with us, definitely these are a very good foundation for you becoming a good Web3 developer. But then, of course, there has to be a lot of more work which goes into this. And, a lot of hard work goes into this, which really will really give you the position that you are kind of aspiring to. Now, fortunately, the good news is that we are here, and with the wealth of knowledge that IBC Media has in its pocket, plus the industry with which we are working very closely, I think this is quite possible. But then, as I always say, that I would need your undivided attention and reciprocation in the effort that we are doing from our side. And I always say that some of the names that I see here, they are pretty encouraging, and I think I am not surprised. I will not be surprised if I get some fantastic applications coming out of this. Having said this, now we are very close to kind of closing our module 2, in which we have covered some of the very basic fundamentals of Rust programming. And before that, we had in module 1, we had covered the business landscape of blockchain. And I have personally covered some of the very, very crucial topics which you should be familiar with. And I would also encourage, and I'm 100% sure that you guys would have spent some time from you, because right now, internet is flooded with information. The thing that is required from your side and from everybody's side is to go deeper, dig deeper into this information which is available there, and spend time. I think that is what, in my opinion, today's world is offering to all of you. Okay, so do not stop here. If you just attend a session, if you just take a quiz, that should just be a station in your journey. That cannot be your destination. Your destination is pretty far, and that destination is pretty lucrative. Okay. So with all these, I would say, words of wisdom, from my side, I would like to spend some time with you today on storage. Now, why is this so important? Okay. If you really understand, the importance of storage in the compute world, it really has been, a very, very important subject from, quite some time, basically, So, for example, if you really, if you are talking about a program or if you're writing some application, storage becomes very, very important. And even storage has got a lot of, important aspects in our day-to-day life. If you guys, of course, I don't know how many of you have you guys anybody used here the floppy disk. I am curious to know. Can you, answer in the Q&A? Has anybody here used the floppy disk? Guys, can you answer in maybe you can put in your response in the Q&A. Floppy disk, have you anybody used DVDs and all that? Yeah, so these, I think you, by the time, I think, and this pretty, this is not surprising, by the way, I'm seeing, people replying with answer no, but that's how really, yeah, so Narendra says that he has just seen it. Yeah, Sudarshan says he has just used DVDs. Sudarshan, I mean, he has not really used that. DVDs is still little. Yeah, absolutely. So the point is that with the advent of technologies, over these years, the storage really has been becoming, I would say, less expensive, more affordable. And of course, all these storages, different devices, they have their own advantages and disadvantages. But with technology, these things have been, going pretty, I would say, pretty rapid pace. Now, I think if you have heard of the term called, cloud computing, how many of you have in any way used cloud computing? For example, that could be any of the important cloud storage providers, such as AWS or Google Cloud, or Azure, Microsoft. Have you anybody you have used AWS S3? Fantastic. Sudarshan says he has used S3. Anybody else with any experience on any other storage solutions?
Yeah, so guys, if you're raising a hand, we are seeing that you're raising your hand. First of all, thank you for your responses. But at the same time, you can just share some experiences about line of in what manner you have used the cloud storage. So that would
Yeah,
be
so
much
I
better.
think, does anybody want to come unmute yourself and talk about your experience? Sudarshan, can you, Deepak, is it a possibility to unmute Sudarshan and let him explain in what way he has used it?
Yes, sir. We'll just invite him to speak. One second.
Sudarshan, yeah, can you come and talk about your experience in using AWS S3? Yeah, Shiva Kumar talks about Google Drive. Balavine Simakurti has used EC2. EC2 is more of a compute, service. Simakurti. So I think I would not call that storage there, but yeah, they all are from AWS services. Collabs or Jupyter, absolutely. So yeah. So guys, it is very important for you to understand that when AWS came solution, and I'll try to explain you the context. So, and why is it important for you to understand the context of storage before you jump into the decentralized storage? Sorry. So these storages were pretty isolated, and in fact, there are so many applications even now which are basically your applications which are hosted in on-prem locations of the of the companies. When I say on-prem, this means on-premise, and you have got your own server. You maintain that server. You kind of store your files there, and your programs use. You have got a lot of files, videos, data. There are several things which companies they use that. Okay, Sudarshan. So you are right now a part of the panel. Do you really want to express your usage?
Yeah, yes, first, I have used AWS S3 for I'm just learning AWS.
Uh-huh.
So in that case, there are some practical things, right? So we have to do practically so that we can gain knowledge, how the things really work.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So for that purpose, to learn AWS, I have used AWS S3, okay, this is the way to create a storage account,
Mhm.
and this is the way to upload the files and how to access the files. And also I have been using Azure also, sir,
Mhm.
and I am preparing for the Azure certifications. So for that
Okay.
purpose, I have been using Azure storage accounts.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Fantastic. Thank you, thank you, Darshan. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. You can go mute now. See, it is pretty interesting technology, and I'll tell you history of how exactly AWS came. By the way, I am a professional level certified AWS solutions architect, so I kind of understand the intricacies which really are there in AWS. So AWS first started, of course, they have their own business in retail, as you know, and they had a lot of spare, I would say, unused capacity with respect to storage compute when they kind of created their own infrastructure in the beginning. Okay. And then a thought came. I'm not sure who that person was, but then there was a thought internally which kind of which asked them, which I mean, by which they kind of thought about it, that how to monetize, how to make money out of the spare capacity what we have. And that is where the birth of AWS happens there. And the idea was that you should be able to use this unused capacity and get money out of this. And then they, of course, they kind of came up with a lot of models. They created APIs. With all those APIs, you can go and interact with these capacity. Now there are several things in cloud, if you really ask me. uh, somebody talked about EC2. Somebody talked about EC2. These are compute instances. We have got storage. There are file systems. There are different databases which are, which you can use. There are NoSQL. There are, there is something called serverless computing, where you can go and, whatever is your need while, you run your program, whatever compute you need, for example, Lambda function, right? So you just get that, right? I mean, you don't really go and occupy or pre-reserve anything for yourself, right? There are several advancements that really have happened in AWS and in the cloud world. Uh, but at the same time, of course, there are so many issues also with this. And the issues basically is pretty known to all of us, such as, centralization of control, censorship, possibilities. If you know what I'm saying when I say censorship, censorship means that if somebody does not like what you have, whether it is government or whether it is anybody else, they can just come and switch it off in a minute, in a second rather. For example, I had heard a case of something in Turkey where, a few years back, a government did not want, the the Wikipedia to be active there. Why? Because government thought that was anti-national or something like that, and they just went and switched the Wikipedia off there. So these are, now this is called censorship. Now blockchain is something which is very, very famous for making a censorship resistant system where nobody can go and shut it off. Now, which is very, very important, and especially if you imagine blockchain is right now creating a censorship resistant system where, if you launch a smart contract on a particular platform, be it Polkadot, Ethereum, or anywhere, by design, nobody can come and switch it off. Your smart contract is live, means live, people can use it. Even the person who has, person who has launched the smart contract, even he cannot go and stop it. There are provisions to do that, where it's called self-destruction and all those things. There are special cases, but typically when an application, I mean, a smart contract is launched on a platform, then it is on. Right now, the point what I'm trying to make here is that if you do all hard work in creating a censorship-resistant, blockchain or system, but still use the centralized databases and storage, for example, right? Then the whole purpose goes in vain. I mean, then you are really not having anything. Now, that is where the question comes, that how do we decentralize it, right? Now, if you really ask me, there are, different ways in which you could do that. And, for example, if you look at, imagine, imagine the whole world where, everybody has got some device nowadays, devices, mobile devices or laptops. Nobody talks less than 500 GB or 1 terabyte. I mean, if you go and look at the mobile devices right now, the inexpensive mobile devices also has huge capacity. And as per one survey and as per some report which I was going through, where people say that around half of the usage of your compute storage, is unused, most of the devices. Now, what if there is a mechanism in which you are able to monetize this space? When I say monetize, means you are able to earn money by using this unused capacity of storage in your device in some way. Right now, if this happens, there are various benefits and advantages. The number one benefit is that, of course, you are going to get benefited by using your unused capacity that you have in your device. Number one. Number two, if you create an application or a protocol, something like that, which can manage this interaction, between the person who is hosting the file and the person who is basically who needs to store something in an economically efficient way, for example, then it is win-win situation for everybody. And nobody can go and censor you, for example. Nobody can go and shut you off. Now, that is one of the most powerful thing that really, if you guys have heard of BitTorrent and all, I mean, they work in very similar fashion. But what I'm going to be talking today here basically is more related to blockchain world, and how exactly these blockchain applications, they kind of make use of that. Okay, so now let us look at some of the core principles, for example. And the one of the most famous protocol which which kind of gives the foundation for this decentralized storage is called IPFS, which is called Interplanetary File System. And the question arises that why do we call interplanetary file system? Is it relating to two different planets? Yeah, I mean, there was one study which was done, or there was an analogy which was given, that look, between Mars and Earth, the one side of the communication takes anywhere between 4 minutes and 24 minutes, depending upon the location where you are. Okay. So imagine a person who is on Mars, and I think those days are also not very far, as a lot of work is happening, in this world where, we will be maybe looking at colonizing Mars in some time, right? So I think the technology is moving at such a speed that, nothing looks to me impossible, guys, right now. And I think you all are so fortunate, having been at a time when technology is advancing at a rate which was unimaginably fast. Okay, so coming back to the point. So, for example, a person is on Mars and he wants to access, say, for example, Wikipedia from a server on Earth, for example. Right now, this Wikipedia is hosted on a server in Earth, as you know. So, do you guys understand how exactly this happens? Say you want to, for example, there is a website called wikipedia.com. Let us make that up. And somebody on Mars, he or she says that, okay, I want to have wikipedia.com. He types that. Okay, so what happens? The message comes from Mars to Earth, and it will take, say, for example, let us say 4 minutes. Okay, and once the address comes here, wikipedia.com comes here. So first of all, it goes to DNS resolver. If you guys understand DNS resolver is a very simple thing where when you say that xyz.com, it goes and finds out the IP address which maps to this xyz.com. Okay, that's what DNS resolver means it just has an IP address for every DNS that you kind of think of, google.com, microsoft.com, or apple.com, or whatever you could talk about. Everybody has got an IP address which gets mapped to. There are more complications. Maybe sometime, maybe we have in future, we will talk more about these the tech stuff, but okay, for today. So that person says wikipedia.com, and this request comes on Earth, and it goes to a DNS resolver. Now, DNS resolver says that, okay, this IP is 1.2.3.4, for example. Okay. Now it goes there, and this conversion happens, and this data access happens pretty soon, pretty fast, and you get that. But again, it has to travel from Earth to Mars, so it again takes 4 minutes. So by the time you go and say, I want to see wikipedia.com, it is going to be taking 8 minutes for to and forth communication, and that too in the most optimistic manner. It could take up to 48 minutes, 24 minutes each side. That's the most pessimistic view, right? So now imagine the world now, the way technology is advancing, and the way these things are changing. I think it is definitely not possible to kind of keep pace with, or to continue following what really is basically the current state. Now, what could happen there? That, say, for example, if this wikipedia.com is hosted on an IPFS kind of environment, then then you may have a node which is hosting that file in Mars only. So you get your request in few milliseconds, right? Now, the concept, I'm just trying to give an analogy that why are these things so important? These things are important because at the end of the day, speed matters. At the end of the day, censorship resistance matter. At the end of the day, you really want to have a system which does not depend on third parties. Now, I was also reading somewhere that on one of the days, I don't remember when it was, but maybe a few years back, in US, AWS, US East, that AZ that went down. Now, the point is that when that server, when that AZ was down, availability zone, we called in AWS, when it was down, then everything that was hosted in that, availability zone, everything went down. And I think no services were accessible to people. Imagine the situation when we are depending so much on a central entity. Now, if something happens, now there is always an incentive for these big companies to keep things on, because this is their business, this is their credibility, whatever you call. But then that cannot be, that cannot be something which can be taken for granted. Okay. So now you understand the beauty of these decentralized storage, where there are two things, two sides of it. The person who has got extra storage capacity, that person can, earn money for that. Second, the person who is, who is trying to store something, that person can store, and this storage happens in a decentralized way, scattered manner, where there is no issue of censorship there. That's something which is very, very important for you to understand, and this becomes very, very vital. So let's talk about, we started talking about IPFS, which is basically which is called interplanetary file system. Okay, now how exactly IPFS works? Okay, I'll definitely not go into too much technicalities, because that will itself will be, a complete session there. But then, to make it simple right now. So basically what happens, so whenever you go and upload a file, okay, onto IPFS, then what does IPFS do? IPFS goes and creates a hash of the file. Okay, now hash of the file is basically you understand hashing, right? Can anybody confirm to me that you guys understand hashing? I think I have covered it in some previous lecture. Do you guys understand hashing? I mean, quickly, maybe a few. I see a few people saying yes. So hashing is basically it is a digital signature of the input. Now that input could be basically input could be a file, that input could be an image, that input could be a video, that input could be any type of data. Okay, like once you have this hashing done, then what happens? If you go and change the content, okay, even to the minutest level, the hash changes, and the hash changes drastically, completely different. Okay, it becomes completely different. You cannot go and imagine that, okay, hash of this was this, so hash of the next object maybe which is little changed from the previous one will be which will be very similar. No, it doesn't have any correlation to the previous hash. And their beauty, these are all mathematical wonders, guys. I think maybe when we in fact I am absolutely sure that many of you or most of you will start building with us, and that will be your actual journey of becoming a Web3 developer. And I will interact with you continuously in next few months more, and I will be bringing some of these important topics, in future as well, so that I see my idea here is to not teach you a language only. My idea is to make you a full-fledged Web3 developer, which really needs an understanding of several things in the peripheral system. Okay, maybe sometime we will talk about chain link. I was talking with my team today. Chain link is something which is very important from the oracles perspective. What are oracles? We will definitely talk about some of them. And in fact, you can go to IBC Media website, YouTube playlist, and Deepak Singh can share that link if you don't have. We have several important topics already being covered on our playlist YouTube, which you really go. And there are so many videos of our on-ground events of Vizag and Hyderabad, where several important topics have been covered. And maybe, if that requires some, discussions in future, we will do that also. Okay. So coming back to the point, where was I? So I was into the, where was I? So basically, I was talking about your complete chain of thought lost there. So yeah, so decentralized storage. Now, the decentralized storage, what I was talking about basically is how exactly you are going to be storing it, right? So IPFS, what it does, and we were talking about hashing. So so IPFS, what happens that every object that you store in IPFS will be given a content ID, CID. Okay. Now, what is the CID? CID is nothing but hash of the file that you submit. Okay. Now you understand that blockchain is considered to be completely immutable, that a transaction that goes into a block, nobody can go and change that transaction, right? You have to go and fire another transaction if you really want to do something else on top of that, right? You cannot go and say, okay, no, I'm not happy with this transaction in the past, I'll go and change it. No, it doesn't happen like that. Okay, so immutability is something which is very core to the whole blockchain fundamentals, and the same fundamental is applied in the decentralized storage, where IPFS creates a hash, and once you create the hash, then that hash is taken as the identifier. Then what happens basically, one thing that I was earlier talking about, that you should definitely also understand, that there are two ways in which the content is accessed on the internet. Okay, and please pay attention on this. There are two ways. One is called location based addressing, where you say that, look, this file is on this server, a particular, say for example, a cat file. You have got an adorable cat picture which is stored on a server whose IP is 1.2.3.4, and which is known as the DNS as cat.com, right? So what happens if you want to go and see that picture? You will go and write, okay, give me cat.com. That's what you know, because this is user friendly DNS for us, right? But in the background, it goes and resolves that DNS cat.com to 1.2.3.4. Okay. Now, when that happens, then you go and then this will go and hit that particular server, okay, with that IP address, and it will go and pick up the file, which is the location given there. Okay. Now, once you do that, then what happens? That it is called location based addressing. So you are telling the location where a particular file is stored, right? Now, IPFS works a little differently. So IPFS says that, okay, don't tell me the location. Tell me which file do you want? Okay, you say that I want a picture of a cat. How do you say this to IPFS? You say this to IPFS by giving the hash, right? So you say that, okay, I want this file. And of course, how do you recognize your content? Your content is recognized by your content ID, which is nothing but hash of the file, right? So you say, okay, I want this hash, image, and then you go and tell IPFS, okay, find me this. How does that, how will IPFS go and do that? So IPFS has got something called a hash table. Okay. Now that hash table, what it does, it goes and what happens in IPFS, there are several nodes which may keep the data of the particular file. Okay, there may be 5 nodes who are keeping the data of the file. Okay, so this hash table goes and keeps that data, that this particular cat image which has got this particular hash is being maintained in 5 different nodes. Which are the 5 nodes? Node 1, node 77, node 134, node 199, like that, whatever. Okay, then it will go and find out as per some algorithm, wherever is the nearest one and whatever is the least, most energy efficient way, it will just go and find that and give it to you, right? Now, there are of course advantages in this, but there are some disadvantages also here. So what happens now? For example, 5 people are storing your data. Okay, and please pay attention to this. 5 nodes are storing your cat picture, but all those 5 nodes, they went down somehow. Okay, their power went off, or I don't know, they are no more interested in running the IPFS node or whatever. Then your file disappears. Then you go and say this that cat.com, give me this cat picture with this hash. Then it will not give you anything. Right now, that's a big problem, right? Because, and in fact, what happens, if you guys know, there are some NFT projects where I was made to understand in the past that what happened, that you have an NFT, non-fungible tokens, which are basically the one of the most buzzword in this industry right now, which has got several applications in the real business life, and maybe sometime we will talk about that also. So I think I will be having many informal conversations with you on our Discord channel, or otherwise some of the sessions where I'll be kind of helping you appreciate this world much more, in a, I would say, closely, basically. So, okay, coming back to the point. So these NFTs are basically, the ownership driven content, basically. So what happens, basically, most of these NFTs, now these NFTs you can store in a centralized server as well as a decentralized server. Now you have got your choice. Before I go ahead, Deepak, how am I doing with time? I will need 10 more minutes to finish my stuff.
Yeah, no worries, sir. Please continue.
Thank you. So what happens, these NFT images, what you are going to be storing, you have an option to go and store in your own personal laptop, or you have got an ability to go and store in the centralized server, like Sudarshan mentioned about S3 buckets from AWS, right? You can go and store there, or you have an option to go and store these files on a P2P, driven network like IPFS, right? But what happens if, for example, all these files are gone, all nodes are gone, your file is gone, and then you go and click on where is my NFT, you go to your wallet and you click on the NFT, then you don't get anything. Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem, right? Why is there a problem? Because people who are hosting these files, they don't really have any economic incentive to maintain this file for a long time. Now that's very important thing. Pay attention to this point again, that if you do not have any economic incentive to maintain file, you can always go, always shut it off. Like, have you heard of the term leechers or leech in the the bit world, where some people will be kind of going and getting some files from, the torrent side. And once their file is downloaded, they will kind of switch it off, so that, they will not be providing the access or the content to others. I mean, these are basically, people who are very self-centered people. So I think there are people like this also here. So there is a risk here. That is number one. Now, so what happened? So IPFS is, it has been created by a company called Protocol Labs, and they understand this problem, right? Of course, it really still has immutability, and it is unlikely that, you have everybody, coming down, bringing down their nodes. But then there are different mechanisms in which you can do that, such as you can pin your file. If you can pin locally, then there will be always a copy here with you. So there are the different ways you can do that. But more importantly, what I'm trying to say is that this is a path breaking mechanism, and especially suited for blockchain, where the whole thesis is of decentralization, and you cannot just go and make everything decentralized, but a storage is coming into a cloud server. The cloud server gone, everything else gone. So that becomes the weak link there, guys. Okay. So IPFS basically is a free of cost storage, and you really don't pay anything for that. But IPFS, if you are going and storing your important files and videos and other content in IPFS, you are always unsure about whether it gets lost, right? That's a big problem. So on top of that, you really have to have some mechanism such as Filecoin, or you need to have some pinning services, for example, right? Those services will give you permanency to your files. Okay, now let's talk about some other tools. For example, there is protocol called Filecoin, if you have heard of that. So Filecoin basically is a decentralized storage, I mean, where anybody who has got extra storage in their device, they can go and rent their storage space, right? So now what happens here, that you are not trusting a company, you are not trusting an individual, but what you are doing basically, you are trusting an encryption or technology, cryptographic, algorithms that could be much, much more safer, right? So basically, the mechanism, and they have a fantastic token called FIL. And if you go and look at that, one of the very promising projects, in my opinion, is Filecoin. Again, this is not an investment advice from IBC Media. This is just our opinion. We don't recommend in investing in Filecoin here, but we are just exploring this from the technology perspective here. So keep that in mind. All cryptos are risky, as you know, but then technology is beautiful, bright. So what happens basically, they have got a mechanism which ensures that the files that are kept by people, they have an incentive to keep it for a long time. Now, this was one of the problems with IPFS, where IPFS was not giving us assurance, but Filecoin gives that assurance, where it says that, okay, look, if I'm making my space available, then I have incentive to store it for a long time. Number one. Second thing is that replication across various nodes. Now, that is something which is also very important. And in fact, if you understand AWS, there, that is a very, very important, aspect of AWS, what they consider that, are you resilient? Number one, are you scalable? Are you resilient? If one system goes down, is your, whole system going down the same time? No. But it really is, in blockchain and Filecoin, they have ensured it by having different kinds of, mechanisms there. This will help you keep your data for a long time. Of course, you know that it is based on IPFS. So Filecoin is based on IPFS. The Filecoin is also from the company, Protocol Labs only. So they have kind of made on top of that. Okay. So the content ID funda remains here as well. And, once you have the content ID, then immutability comes here, where nobody can come and change your content. The moment you change your content, it will give you a new hash. That's the beauty here, right? So everybody knows that, I have kept my file, and the file that I am returned, if that is a different hash, then you will go and ignore that, because that file has been changed. And the cost wise, it is very, very low cost, in my opinion. Per GB per month is pretty low. I think it's 6 nines or 7 nines, and then 9 USD per GB per minute. It's not pretty expensive, and with the advent of technology, this is going to be even better. Now, one thing is that we talked about IPFS, we talked about general decentralized storage, and we talked about Filecoin. Now let us go and look at something which is called Arweave. Now, this is another protocol, where what they claim that okay, you pay us $8 one time per GB, okay, and we will keep your data permanently. Now, I think this data permanence is definitely something which even Filecoin has not promised. Filecoin has said that okay, we'll make efforts in such a way that your data is stored. Our protocol incentivizes people to keep data for a long time. But Arweave comes and says, okay, no, we will be giving you a permanence guarantee. Now they have got their own, concept of doing that. They have got something called proof of access. And again, whatever I'm talking about, I will encourage you guys to go and read these white papers, which will give you a lot of clarity in terms of getting deeper into these things. It is not possible, guys, to go and cover everything in 30 minutes. But my objective here is that I should give you a perspective of what's happening. Why is the storage, and especially decentralized storage, so important from the point of view of what we are doing, what we are building. Tomorrow, when you start, building your application, okay, in decentralized world, you will be needing these storages. You are going to be, in fact, Deepak Singh and Deepak Chaudhary will talk about some of the challenges that they have got from our sponsors. All of these things will need you to go and store your data in the decentralized storage. So, for example, if I am in your place, what I will do, I will go and read the white paper, and then I will go and try to install the IPFS on my machine. I'll try to see how do I put a file, okay, what comes back, how is the hash coming. There is a service called Pinata. If you really haven't gone, please go and spend some time on that. PINATA, Pinata, that gives you the pinning services there. So the moment I kind of cover some topic, please go and expand your knowledge around that. I'll give an example. So when I started my career around 25 years back, then one of my chief bosses, he always used to tell me that, look, Praveen, if you have been given, and we used to maintain big applications in finance and logistics in those days, and it was a mainframe based application. So he told me one thing, that how do you learn a system? What should be your learning mechanism? So he told very interesting thing, that okay, when I give you a problem, say for example, a particular program is facing a problem, and I have been given that problem to fix it. So you go and look at that problem, and don't focus on that problem only there. Go and try to expand your boundary around that. Okay, go and look at, okay, say for example, this program has got 5 libraries, for example, 5 inputs, 5 outputs. Okay, understand those things. What are those inputs? Why are those inputs important for the program? What are those 5 libraries there? What are they doing? What are the 5 outputs? What is the business consequence or interpretations of those outputs? So that way, if you go and fix 100 problems in a year, you understand your knowledge about the whole system. The same thing I apply here. I tell you here that if I touch upon a simple concept here, for example, or a very important concept in this class, what I would expect you, and all the bright people, all you guys are here, you go and do some research around everything around that aspect. So that if I cover 10 topics, your knowledge will be 10 into 10. You are not just limiting yourself up to 10 there, right? So I think this is an advice, professional advice from my side. But okay, let me summarize in next 2 minutes. The important thing that we talked about, decentralized storage is very important requirement for this new world, for various reasons I talked about. Blockchains have been built to keep very limited data, transaction data, smart contract, and all these things. The blockchain is not built to store big files, for example, which are NFTs. You have to go off chain on these things to keep your data in a scalable manner. You cannot use blockchain to go and keep everything. That's a big problem, and that's a big no. That is where, when you are going off chain from blockchain, when you are coming down from blockchain, you have got several choices. You can go to Amazon, you can go to Google Cloud, you can go to Azure, or you can go to IPFS. Choice is yours. You have to find out which one is more, I would say, appropriate in this case. And I think in the blockchain, otherwise also, these solutions are more safe, provided you go and use some pinning services which ensures your data to be, always available for you. So I hope this really would have given you some context today, and these things are going to be helping you a lot when you build, projects, when you build applications, when you participate in different challenges, what Deepak Singh will be talking about. And, this will make you, a complete Web3 developer. Thank you, guys. And I think I'll talk to you again. Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that was lovely how far and how in depth we discussed lot of things. And one something that you said in the last couple of minutes was all of you brilliant guys who are here, all of you smart guys who are here. So that reminds me that, and that makes me wonder that a lot of students out there. So we have reached out to a lot of students to come and join CEP, and we are glad that you all are here. But at the same time, some students who are not able to join us. Uh, but if you look in an overall perspective, you have already won half the war uh, of knowledge gaining just by spending couple of hours in the past, like let's say 2 hours on an average in the past few weeks, compared to a lot of the students out there who might not have been able to, join us for whatever reason, may not be interested, may not be savvy in learning. But just compare yourself from where you started earlier with CEP and where you are. And obviously, the reason why Praveen sir has started this summarization of some important key elements of blockchain is because while you learn from the sessions, you also need to understand the industry perspective of what you are gaining over here. Now, like Praveen sir said, one of the challenges from our sponsors. So you need to hang on tight till the end of the session, because I'm not going to open up about it, but there is something extremely interesting that is going to happen tomorrow. And there are prizes to be won. And the challenge is kind of a basic challenge. If you put some amount of brain into it, you'll be able to come out of it with a good amount of prize pool. Yeah, so but you need to wait a little while, because right now the next agenda is our expert Deepak Chaudhary will be speaking about your performance in the quiz and the questions that you might be seeking an answer to, and some context as to why the question were missed by a lot of people over here. And secondly, another very important thing was the GitHub links. So as we discussed earlier yesterday, that your GitHub links were important and they were to be posted in the assignment link, but we saw a lot of students who did not actually do that. I think they were not able to figure out how exactly that has to be done. If that's the case, then I would request Deepak to also take you through the GitHub process. So three things in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, just to for you to understand, this is not part of our session. This was not supposed to be part of our session, but we are improvising because we are seeing some challenges that are being faced by the students. And that is why we are taking some amount of time to give you back the knowledge that might have been missed by you in the earlier sessions. But at the same time, uh, while you cover it with other topics, for example, today we were supposed to cover ink, we will still try to touch upon it if time allows. But the reason we are trying to cover some other important elements is because we don't want you to just hop over the sessions that we are covering. You also need to understand some extremely important things that you need to have, and GitHub is one of it. The assignments, the quizzes, they are all extremely important for you to understand while you keep learning, because that is where you will test yourself. That is where you'll come to know what you learned and how far you learned it. And that's extremely important, which is why Praveen sir here requested that we need to address certain things before we move on to smart contracts, which is a brilliant topic in itself. But some basic fundamentals have to be set, and that is what we are trying to achieve as soon as possible in the next 10-15 minutes or 20 minutes, or whatever time it takes, because the importance cannot be ignored and you all need to be on the same page. But remember, at the end of the session, not at the end of the session, but after Deepak Chaudhary completes his discussion on the quizzes, on the assignment, and on GitHub link about how to use GitHub. We will be talking about what you will be building tomorrow. A small project, not exactly building, a small project that you will be doing, which is from one of our sponsors, and there's something to be won from over there as well, where we will be actually helping you like we do the sessions. So hold on tight. Uh, Carefully understand what Deepak Chaudhary is going to explain in his address right now, and try to ask, not try, actually ask as many questions as you can, because we are doing this exactly because we saw there's a gap. We want to fill this gap so that nobody from our CEP is lagging behind. So guys, take serious note of what Deepak Chaudhary will be covering in the next couple of minutes, and try to ask questions wherever you feel you have a doubt. Deepak Chaudhary, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good evening, guys. So let's first start discussing the previous two quizzes. We have left these two quizzes. If you have any specific question to ask, you can put in the Q&A. We are discussing through one by one. Okay. Now, first question is, which of the following are the real world application of a blockchain? Like we have already seen that DeFi is like using in banking, distribute cloud storage, Praveen sir is already said. We can use in the healthcare also. So the correct answer is all of the above. Okay, now the second is, why do we need to add palette xxx/std, where xx is the name of palette, to the list of features? Let me show you where we have added this. Let's go to the runtime. Let's say we have developed a palette club member. So we have added this here. Okay. We have added this to enable when compiling the runtime. When we are compiling the runtime, then runtime needs to know what are the palettes we are using. Okay. What does frame section contain? Like yesterday I have shown you GitHub. There you have frame, and there you can find all the palettes. If you want, you can go and read about it, what this palette is all about. There is a nice readme for it. Okay. Okay. Now next is, what is the first step in order to integrate a palette? Just focus on the word integrate. We are using a inbuilt palette in our chain. Okay, for that we need to add the dependencies in the runtime. Like I have shown you here, we are adding the dependencies. Like this is our custom palette, and these all palettes are the inbuilt palette which we are using from the GitHub or Parity GitHub account. First, we need to add it in the cargo.toml of runtime, and then we can use it. Okay, which command is used to compile the node in release mode? This is a very simple question. We have used many times cargo build release. And this is also which command is used to start the node. We use this command, and the meaning of dash dash dev is we are starting our node in developer mode. Let's come to an next question. What does dash dash dev mean? Like we are running the node in developer mode. Okay, we have talked about many times about the grandpa. What is the use of grandpa? It is a use to provide block finalization. Okay, what is the use of Aura? This is also talk about provide block authorizing. What does the block in blockchain contain? It contains transaction data and the hash point. Hash point is like we have a hash of previous block, okay, and the timestamp where the block is created. So we have all the three in a block. So the answer is all of these. Okay. Next is what is the name of Polkadot native crypto token? That is simple. That is dot. What is the average timing of Polkadot chain? I have shown you many times. Let me show you again. You can see here the average timing of building a block is 6 seconds. Okay. Okay, the chain which connects to the Polkadot chain is known as simply a parachain. And what are the recent events in the Polkadot UI? Let me show you where you can see the recent events there. And yesterday also we have seen the events there. If we change anything, if there is an error occur, then all these events will be shown here. Like you can see there is a balance transfer from this account to this account. Okay. Can we change the block generation time? Yes, we can. Let me show you the different time blockchain. Let's check. Let's see. The timing of block is 12 seconds. Likewise, some chains are using 3 seconds. Okay, the next in testing, do we need to pay any fees to perform a small sign transaction? Yes. If we want to transact any small or big, we need to pay some fees. Can we perform unsigned transaction? Yes. Let me show you where can do it. When I run my chain, then there is option submit unsigned. Okay, that is not available on that chain. We can do it from here. Okay, which consensus is used in Polkadot? That is simple proof of stake. And which token we use to stake in Polkadot directly? We need to stake a native token, that is dot. It's as simple as it. Okay, let's discuss the tomorrow's quiz. What is the use of parameter types? Like the parameter type is used to create implementation of get rate. We haven't used the get rate. So what is the use of it? Let's say we need to add a condition here, like maximum 5 people will be there in club members. Maximum 5 person can be present in the club. So for that, we need to specify this number in the runtime. Okay. And how do we get to know from the runtime? Then we define this here, type number, and then we use the get function here, like I32 or whatever. Okay. Is it mandatory to declare? Yes, I have told you it is mandatory to declare palette config. What is the use of construct runtime? It is used to construct runtime from the list of palettes we have implemented. It is used what palettes we have added in the palette section. This is used to construct all the palettes into the runtime. What is the use of palette constant? This is used to provide the config trait which we have used here. We have used this one, and also it enables to add a constant to the metadata. If we want to declare any constant into our palette, then we need to use the palette constant. Okay, what is the use of palette? It is required to declare the palette data structure, where we have declared this. Here we have declared this, and here we have defined the palette structure. Okay, what is the use of palette hooks? Like, see, if we want to like, there is a big transaction. Okay, so our block, let's say our block generation time is 6 seconds, and the transaction takes around 12 seconds or more. So what will happen at that condition? The transaction is occurred off chain, and when this transaction is completed, then it comes to the on chain. At that point of time, we use the palette hooks. Okay, what is the use of palette storage? It enables you to define abstract storage. If we want, let's say, where we have there, if we want to declare any storage item, then we need to declare palette storage. Palette origin, it is a macro which allow you to define an origin of the palette. We cannot define a palette origin as private. I told this yesterday in session. What is the use of cargo.toml? It collects all the Rust package managers and contain all the dependencies there. What is the use of runtime in substrate? Like, many uses I have told in yesterday session, but there is also determine which transaction are valid or invalid. This is also a use of runtime. Which consensus mechanism? What is a consensus mechanism in blockchain? In yesterday's session, Kavin sir has a long talk about the consensus mechanism. So it is an agreement method to validate transaction. Okay, which of the following is a consensus mechanism? These all are the consensus mechanism. So the answer is all of the above. So this is pretty straightforward. How many consensus mechanism exactly? That is 14. Which entity is the heart of Polkadot network? That is a relay chain. Which is Polkadot chain? The other name of Polkadot chain is relay chain. Okay, which of the following substrate repository is used to create custom blockchain? This is something important thing. Let me substrate. No template. This is the repository we need to clone if we want to work on any template or anything. if we need to build our chain and anything we need to work on it, then we need to first clone this substrate node template. I'll show you how to clone and how to deploy all the things. In the context of Polkadot, what does XCM stand for? The full form of XCM is cross consensus messaging. Because what we are saying here in Polkadot is we are making an interoperability between the different consensus chains. Okay. Is it possible to connect Ethereum to the Polkadot network? Yes. Which of the following is true? Any parachain can connect to the Polkadot through a slot. Yes, we have seen, we have read about it. Individual parachain needs not to implement their own consensus mechanism. They can use relay chain. Yes, validator must state dots in order to become a validator. This is for the safety purpose. If a validator like try to abuse the chain, then we can slash it. Okay, the next is the which of the following is true regarding Polkadot entity. These all are the true. Nominator secures the relay chain by selecting trustworthy validators. All the answer for this also is all of the above. Any question till now? Now next we'll see how to clone the repository and how to push the code onto the GitHub. Okay. For completion of your assignment, what you need to do is, in this you will cover two things, that how to use a GitHub and how to submit your assignment.
Yeah, so guys, I think there are some doubts. Deepak, sorry to interrupt. So I think there are some doubts regarding the GitHub link and how to create an account. Like we have already discussed earlier, if you have not created GitHub account, then it's a huge flaw. You need to create it immediately, right now, right away. Do not delay it any second more. What we'll do is we'll extend the assignment and you'll have ample of time to do this. Check out what Deepak is showing over here right now carefully and do it right away, guys. Do not delay this anymore. Yes, Deepak, sorry, please continue.
Yep. Just go to this link. I'll paste this link in the comment chat box. Okay, what you need to do is go to the CEP2 assignments and go there. And copy this. Now come to the terminal and locate the path you want to clone this. Let's say I'm going to clone in the downloads, and for cloning you need to type git clone and paste the link which we copied from there. Okay, it's copied. Then go to inside the assignment. The name of assignment is CEP2 assignment. Just go there. Okay, then open the assignment. Let me show you. Go to the download CEP assignment. There you have a assignment, and when you open this, it's like open like this. Okay, so what you need to do is, let me close this. Just like this function, you need to create a new function in which a user that is already present in the club can remove himself or herself. Okay. Remove member by yourself. Okay. Now you need to come up with the logic here. Just like we have write the code here. In this, we are checking the origin should be root. Here you need to check the origin should be present in the club member. Okay, then you will be able to remove it from the club member. Okay, after you done this, what you need to do is just go to your profile and create new, and let's say you can name it demo. Okay, make it public so that we can able to see your code. Create repository. Okay, then what we need to do is go there, just a minute. Currently the origin of this is the at the IBC repository. So we need to change this this to our the repository which we have created here. How to do this? We need to git remote set URL origin and then paste this link. Okay, now the remote is changed. Okay, now you can follow these steps. Okay, first step is get init. If there is already get in your file, then it is reinitialized. Let's see. See, it is reinitialized. Then you need to add your code. For adding all the codes you have in your folder, you need to press the dot. It means you are adding all the code. Git add. Then you need to commit this by this command. Let's say first commit. Okay. At last, you need to push your code. We can refresh. Yeah. You can see all the code here. Any doubt in this? And after pushing your code, you need to copy this link and paste in the Google form. This is the whole process how to complete your assignment.
Yeah, so Deepak, sorry, I got distracted in the last couple of minutes. We had a question from Shiv Kumar Tarela. My main doubt is how to write that palette code. It is so confusing. Did we address that question? If not, can we address it?
Okay, he wants more time. Actually, I have explained all the things you need to do. Also, the logic is also pretty simple. I have told them that you need to see the origin is present in club member or not. If that is so, then you can remove it. Otherwise, no. Just you need to code 4 or 5 lines. That's it. And how to remove it, you can see it from there. Just a very simple task.
All right. So, Shiv, did it answer your question, Shiva?
I haven't seen the Shiva's question.
Yeah, actually, I answered it that we will address it. That's why it might be in the answered section. Please, sir, once explain from scratch, take explain in that pseudo problem. We have a response from Shiva Deepak.
Do you want me to explain the thing which we have right here? Okay.
Yeah, so I think we have multiple yeses.
Sure. Okay. So what we are doing here is, this is the simple, we are importing some types like vector, and from the frame support we'll use throughout this palette. The main thing we like here, we are defining the palette structure. Here what we are doing is we are defining the storage, and in storage we save the account IDs. Okay, we are storing the account IDs. These are the events which we can add, like if there is a member which is added, then we can show the message member is added or remove. These are the errors which we can face. A member is already present, then and we again try to add the same member, then error should be already member. And if we remove the member and we try to again the same member, then it should be not a member. Okay, now the main logic is there. We need first add member and remove member. In add member, we first check the origin should be root. Okay, for that we are ensuring ensure root origin dot clone. By this we are returning, if this is not root, then return the error. Okay, now here what we are doing is we are collecting all the club members. Now this club member has all the account IDs. Here we are checking the appropriate location, and if it is already present, then we are just returning the error. It is already a member. Okay, if it is not present in the club member, then we just insert it at the appropriate location and just update the storage. Then we deposit the event that we have added the member. Same things goes in the remove member. And what you need to do, like, let me give some hint, but you need to go to the palettes. And how to do this at starting, this is a little bit confusing. You need to do this confusing, but I went on the frame. Let me tell you some basic knowledge. Let's say first you need to ensure the origin should be present in club member. Then you need to check origin should be equal to who. The user which is present in the club member, it basically remove itself, cannot remove other members, and then you remove the who. That 3 things you need to do. Okay means like if we have successfully done all the operations, then we say that all the operations is done. The means of okay is this. Dispatch result catch two things you can see. This is okay and the run error. Okay guys, these are the 3 things, and I think that is not that much hard. You can check this. We have do so much of like you can perform the operation on vector. Okay, you need to check origin should be equal to who. If that is, then remove the who. How you can remove this by this operation. Okay, I have given you a lot. It is small. I've given you all the answer to solve this assignment. Okay, so this is all for the assignment perspective.
Deepak, we have a question from Ritika Singh. What is okay returning? I mean, is it a string?
Yeah, I have answered this.
Answered it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Now you can continue with it.
Okay, perfect. So let me see if there are any other questions. Okay, I think most of them have been addressed. All right. Yeah, so keep putting those questions, guys. If you have more, Deepak will address it. Right now, we'll move on to the next agenda. So first of all, let me show you something which is extremely crucial for you to do. And I will be sharing the link of the same. Before that, let me show it to you. Yes, so now that we are closing in on the last, basically the last segment of IBC CEP module 2, we will now come to the preparations that are required before we move on to the build sessions, right? So one of the most important things is to have a team. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. So the first thing that you need to do is create a team, all right? So what you need to do is the team, first of all, how many team members you'll create. So we need a minimum of 3 members. If you want to add another member, let me just put it over here. You can add another member, right? Yeah. And so what you need to understand is that this member can be participant of CEP, okay? And or this member can be a friend of yours or colleague of yours in your college, your institution, or a friend who can come and join you as a team. So this will basically help you prepare for the registrations on the IBC website, where we will start working and building projects, which is basically the most amazing thing about the entire IBC CEP. Everything that you have done here, that all culminates to creating something beautiful, right? Creating a project. The actual process begins when you start building something. That is where the real test of your knowledge and skill will come into the picture. So there are a few preconditions. So for example, if you have a friend who is part of the CEP, what you will do is basically that only one of you will come and update this information. What is required? First thing is your team name. You'll put in your team name over here, a name that you can choose. Second is, as I said, only one member part of CEP has to fill this form. So let's say Deepak Chaudhary is filling this form and he has two other friends in CEP, or he has some friends outside and he wants to enroll them all uh, as a team, as his own team. So what he'll do is he'll start with his name and put his GitHub link. Then he will add the team name of his other team members and their GitHub link, and similarly member 3. So the reason that only one member has to do is that we don't want any duplication of this. So let's say if Deepak's name is here as a team member, then him creating a filling in this form in another way will be useless, right? That's just duplication of data. So to avoid that, we want to ensure that only one member of the team fills the data, so that we are aware which are the teams that will be working on certain projects. Now, what is the importance of this? As I've already mentioned, your team members will be working on it. Doesn't matter if they have been part of the CEP until now or not, but whatever we do in the upcoming sessions, they all need to be part of it. At least they have to try to be a part of it. I know that sometimes people may not be able to join, but they can work in the back end. But everything that we start doing from here on, you all have to think as a team, because that is where the fun will begin. Some of you might be good at front end, some of you might be good at project management, and some of you might be good at the back end. So you need to divide those work profiles amongst yourselves, so that, because building a project is a lot of work, right? So we need to understand that all your team members will work in cohort to create that project and build, and we will be helping you build in the process. Okay, so this is the form. Let me just share the form link with all of you over here. Yeah, so you can pass it on to all of your. So you can pass it on to all of your friends. And let me just put this in the Zoom chat. We name it as team and GitHub link form. Yeah, so invite your friends, invite your colleagues, speak to your friends and try to make a team, create your team name, and it's going to be fun. This is basically beginning of an amazing journey where we will be coming up with gaps and other amazing projects that we will build together. Projects obviously that are sponsored by our partners, a lot of it being from Polkadot. We will work on some amazing projects from Polkadot. And then one of the things that we will be doing very soon, which is tomorrow, is we will work on a project, let's say a challenge from one of our sponsors, which is Unique Network. They are basically, their entire work is around NFTs. It's a brilliant project, guys.
So Deepak, Deepak, we can't see your screen. Are you sharing something?
No, sir, not yet. I will share.
Okay, sure.
Next 30 seconds. Yeah. So in Unique Network, they have given us multiple challenges. And let me just share you all what they have been up to, right? And we'll start working on it from tomorrow onwards. But you need to make sure that you fill the form before we invite you for this challenge. This is an exclusive club of all the teams. This will be an exclusive club of team members, right? So first of all, this is kind of part of CEP, but it is not going to be a session. This will be an additional workshop that we will be doing. And once you register yourself on the Google form that I have shared, that is when you will start, you will be invited to participate in the session tomorrow. And we will be sharing with you the links to all the people who register on the form. So what is the challenge? The beginner challenge. So this is the challenge that we will be focusing tomorrow, right? This is the one, which is the beginner challenge, where we have to create collection A and mint a few tokens for that collection using the unique network wallet. So what is the fun part? The fun part is this is 50 USD worth tokens. A lot of you might not even have created a wallet. We will be getting to that right now in a couple of minutes. Now you will get 50 USD worth unique tokens, each of the successful submission with a completed task. Basically, once you complete the task as a team, so 20 teams will be winning this 50 USD prize after you complete the task. So we'll start with this. Let me just put this link over here if anyone wants to go and check it out. Check unique network mock code. I'll also share with you the Notion page link of this challenge. Yeah, so basically we'll be focusing on this challenge tomorrow. But what is important is that you have to first register yourself, your teams, in the form Google form that I have shared. We will be inviting you all. We will be telling you what time the session is. We will be sharing you the link of the workshop that we'll be holding tomorrow to complete this challenge, right? Now, before we discuss any further, is there any doubt? Let me just see. We ourselves should make groups, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Create a channel for project in Discord, sir. We make teams. Okay, so guys, hold your horses. We will handle it all very nicely, very smoothly. Let's just go step by step. One is that you have to create your team. You do that, then we will come to the next step. What if we don't have a team, sir? Unfortunately, we like to work as a team because, as I said, there is a lot of work that is to be done during project building process,
So
and you will
Deepak,
need a team.
yeah, Deepak,
Yes,
I want to say something here. So guys, I have been going to many conferences, and what I have seen that, the 2 people, 3 people who come together, many a times, they end up building big empire, big company in Web3. So choose your partners, and I think just get to it, and it will become a very interesting journey, and you should be targeting to build something productive. And what Deepak is showing right now, don't get bogged down by this, because this is your first exposure. So try to learn everything that comes in the journey, in the way, but then I think you have a long way to go. Okay, but then it's a very good beginning, good exposure. And when you are doing something, go and do research. Say, for example, what does NFT mean? What are the applications? What different levels of NFTs are? How do you build NFTs? If you have any questions, go and ask Deepak Chaudhary. He can help you in that. Be active in Discord. Enjoy this journey. That is very important. Journey is more beautiful than the destination. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
absolutely, sir. So the journey is more important. So you do not have to worry about if you don't have team members, but you need to create a team. Reach out to your friends, reach out to other people in your class. They will be equally excited, just like you would be right now, because like what we are seeing here is the actual test of your skills. It's not even a test, it's extremely basic. Our partner, our sponsor, Unique Network, have been kind enough to give us multiple bandwidths of challenges. So this is just the beginner challenge. It is going to be a cakewalk per se, but you need to come up with a team. Now, the logic of team, if you want to ask me, the logic is not just for this project, not just for this single project, right? This is just one of the things that we will be doing. After this, we'll be working on the intermediate challenge as well. Now, over here, you have 50 USD, right, for each team. Over here, we get 300 USD, all right, in the intermediate challenge. And in the advanced challenge, you get 2000 USD worth of tokens. Now, imagine what's right in front of, and this is exclusive to IBC Media, guys. This is not something that is out there. You have to be part of the IBC Media, IBC ecosystem to be able to achieve this. Now, you'll also have to register on the platform. All of that we'll be talking in tomorrow's workshop. But right now, what you need to understand is that to be part of this entire process of doing challenges, building projects, building dApps, you need to create a team, and we will be working with your team here on forward. You also need to understand that it's not necessary that your team members are part of CEP, or the only important thing is that one of you has to be part of the IBC CEP project. All of you will be invited to join us in the building sessions. You are all free. Now you are all are free to commit to your projects in the building sessions, even if you have not been able to attend the module 2, right? The certification process is a different thing altogether, but we are not restricting anyone from joining us in the building sessions, because we will be teaching all of you how to build, right? So you or any of your friends who wants to join us to build with us, they are like, they're just free to come and join us anytime they want. Any of the sessions that they want, you can obviously ask them to reach out to us on Discord as well if they have any problems, not just with respect to the CEP sessions, right? But otherwise as well, they might be facing, if they are working on blockchain and they are facing any other issues. So this is a brief gist of what we will be doing tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be focusing on the beginner challenge only. Intermediate challenge is a little hard. We will try to work on it once we see the response, the kind of commitment that from you guys in the beginner challenge, and then we'll move on to the intermediate challenge and advanced challenge. And guys, this is just one track in hackathon, if you are not aware. So in hackathon, you have tracks. So this is one of the tracks, right? One track has 3 themes. So in each theme, you have certain prizes. So we have a bunch of tracks over here. All of these tracks hold huge amount of prize pool. So all the effort that you need to do, you need to start right away. Only you might, I mean, it's all in front of you. It's all on IBC website. You need to just go and explore yourself, and you see for yourself the amount of work that you'll be creating if you continue dedicatedly. Like Praveen sir says, that all we are expecting from you is your dedication. Okay, I think there is a question. We shall have enough time. Nah, I don't know what that means. Okay, so yeah, we have spoken about Uni. I'll repeat it once again. Register yourself, your team, with your team name, with your GitHub links on the form, Google form that I have shared with you. You need to make sure that your team members are there. If you don't have team members, that will be a problem. That is a hurdle. It's not necessary that you come up with the team members immediately, but it's important that you try to do it as soon as possible. Unique challenge is just one of the challenges that we are starting with, but there will be multiple other challenges as well. So do not worry if you're not able to come up with a team. Let's say we are trying to shortlist some teams tomorrow to be part of the workshop. So try to come up with your team members, team names, and all the other information that we have asked in the Google form. Try to come up with all the information by, let's say, I would say by 12:30 tomorrow, and we'll start shortlisting you and your teams. We'll start inviting all of you to join us in the workshop tomorrow. Praveen sir, is there anything you would like to add? Okay, I think Praveen sir is distracted. Nevertheless, this is what I had to say regarding the workshop that we are doing tomorrow, guys. This just kind of, there was a meme. I don't know if many of you might know. This kind of escalated quickly, right? So tomorrow we'll start with actual work from what we have been learning. Okay, I'm actually excited and equally nervous for all of you, because it's all a matter of price pool, right? You're starting with getting some tokens right away. I mean, yeah. So one of the things that I actually wanted all of you to know, that you all need to have a wallet. Deepak, will it be okay? Like, will we be able to give them an overview how to create a wallet in case they don't have?
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, perfect. That's great, guys. So if you do not have a wallet until now, Deepak will show you how to create your wallet. And yeah, that will be required tomorrow. So make sure you do it right away.
My screen visible, right?
Yes, Deepak.
Okay. So for wallet, first you need to uh, add this extension. For adding this extension, you need to download for Chrome or Firefox, whichever you are using. Let me share this in the chat box.
So guys, while Deepak Chaudhary does this, you have to just keep this in mind that wallets are a way for you. I mean, that has got your private key and that has got your identification. Okay. So any transaction that you do on the blockchain will be signed by you with the help of your private key. And all these features are enabled by wallet. Typically, these wallets are extension to your browser. And when you download the browser, wallet, then it will follow through a process which Deepak will explain to you. But you have to keep at the, the most basic thing here is that wallets are a way when you send a transaction, whether it is NFT creation, whether it is paying somebody, whether it is anything. So you are, putting your private key, and that private key is allowing you to send your transaction to the blockchain. I mean, that just keep that in mind before Deepak goes there. Yeah, Deepak, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir. Okay, guys, you have a Polkadot extension link. Just click on this link and you can download for the Chrome or Firefox. After downloading this, you will see the extension. This tab, you will not have any account. I have 2 accounts. So for adding an account, you need to click there, plus create new account. Okay, this is the seed. You need to save this. Okay. I have saved this. You need to save this for the future. If you forgot your password or something, then you can recover it by this. Okay, let's. Here you need to choose allow use on any chain, because we'll use this account on different chains like Unique or Fala or many more. Okay, the descriptive name of, let's say, demo 1, and you need to set your password. That's it. You will see the account here. This is the public key, which is used to sign, or the thing which we'll cover today. For that, you need to have the wallet. Okay, and this wallet should be there in your system before tomorrow's workshop starts.
Okay, perfect. So any questions until now regarding the wallet? Guys, if you have a question, please put it over here. Which wallet we need to have, sir? I think we have already covered the question right away. Any other questions? I guess not. Okay, so one of the responses that we just got on our Google form, I want to just address that. We had one of the members who have put in their team name as what is your team name? The question being what is your team name? And the answer is nothing. Guys, that is not how it works. We will not be taking such responses. I mean, we will not be taking such responses seriously. while sending you the information. So, but what I've done is that we have allowed the response editing. So if you want to edit your responses, please feel free to edit it, because you need to take it seriously. This is not a joke, because we are going to start working on some projects which will basically define how you will be moving ahead in your blockchain journey, not just with us in CEP, but also in your careers, right? So this is a very serious thing that we are offering you with all the necessary knowledge required. So please take it seriously. All the names, all the emails that you need to mention, please be accurate in that. Secondly, I also see that in the section of member one GitHub link, we have names. You do not have to put names. You have to put the link of your GitHub account, right? I don't think it's rocket science over here. It's a very simple thing. It's the question itself says member GitHub link. So you need to put the GitHub link of the member who is of your team members, right? So take it seriously. Come up with an actual name and edit those. Put on the other information of the GitHub link and other team members of yours in an honest manner, because we will be filtering it very very carefully, because here on we will be checking all of your progresses, all that you have done, be it your assignments, be it your quizzes, be it your sessions, how much time you've attended in the session, how active you have been. We are checking and keeping track of all of these things. So don't be mistaken that we are not aware who has done what in the past couple of weeks with us. So yeah, I think tomorrow is going to be extremely exciting. I can't wait to have tomorrow's workshop. Please fill all the information in the Google form, and we will reach out to you with the next steps that with the necessary links of the workshop session, and obviously where we will be helping you, guiding you, giving you an overview of on how to basically complete the challenge one, where you and your team will be getting $50 worth unique tokens, which is extremely exciting, because a lot of you might not even have an account yet. But this is the best way to start, right? You do something, you get something in return for your effort. That's the one of the best ways to go. Even if you don't get something in return, let's say the prizes are open for 20 teams, right? So if you are, let's say, you do it a little later, but then you have prepared yourself for challenge 2, right, which is a much bigger prize, and then challenge 3, which is even bigger. And not just in unique, we have multiple other tracks. So we'll be working on all of those tracks, and we'll be helping you out on building on those tracks, especially Polkadot. So make sure you fill the form. Make sure you put all the information accurately. We will straight away ignore any irrelevant inputs that we get on the form. We will not be taking your application seriously. Praveen sir, is there anything else to add? Oh, okay, before I get to Praveen sir's comment, I think we are quite short of time to start Inc. It took a lot of time today to address a lot of important queries and some dependencies from previous sessions regarding the quiz and obviously the assignment. So I think we'll continue on Inc. In the coming sessions. So guys, I hope you prepare yourself for tomorrow's workshop. As I said, it is an additional workshop, part of CEP, but not a CEP session per se. Your requirement is, at least the minimum requirement is for you to fill the Google form with the details of your team members, your team name, the GitHub link. All of these are extremely important. So make sure you do that. Praveen sir, any comments from you before we call it a day?
No, excellent. I think absolutely a lot of learnings, to go, and I believe you are on the right path. So even if the activities are looking tougher, don't give up. Only those people will become great who don't give up. So just keep working, and it is not easy. If it is easy, it is not worth it. Okay, so just keep that always in mind. If you are getting, getting restless about things, or if you think that things are not moving, don't worry. I mean, just keep working. There are enough tons of materials available on the internet. Go and read papers, watch videos, practice. That's the way to go. So I'm very excited to have all of you as part of the IBC cohort 2, and let's make something great. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Praveen sir. So guys, as we have already mentioned earlier, today we do not have the quiz. We are extending the assignment that Deepak over here has already discussed. Let me just share the assignment link to you once again. Once you complete the assignment, make sure you put the GitHub link of the code over there. And yeah, we will check it out for you. And if you have any doubts, of course, you are free to put your queries on our Discord server. You already have the link over here. I think most of you have already joined. If you haven't joined, the links have been put in the chat. Join it right away, because then you will not have to, bother and spend unnecessary time on Google, because we'll just help you out in a much direct way. And because we know the intricacies of what we're trying to achieve here. All right. I think today is a day where we have actually kind of just hit bang on time punctuality provinces. So I think I won't extend this any further.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Praveen sir. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Deepak Goodham. Guys, by the way, Events Media, the person who's hosting all of these sessions is our friend and colleague, Mr. Deepak Goodham. So thank you to the entire IBC team. Thank you everyone for joining in today. It's a little lighter day as compared to other sessions. We don't have a quiz, but make sure that you complete the assignment, utilize the time, fill in the Google form with your team members' details, the GitHub links that we have already mentioned, and let the fun begin tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be super exciting. Tomorrow will be basically, how do we say that? We'll get our hands dirty. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Have fun time, utilize your time carefully, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.